Are we good now?
Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delayed start. I am your hostess, MathGirl718, and joining me today is Raylan.
Hello. And yeah, both are runners already doing stuff. We found a cape already at the uncle's start. So yeah, already a piece for Aga found, and we are not even 2 minutes in.
Alright, sounds like chat can hear us.
And yeah,
And we've got Bugnet. That's a nice item.
also we get to see lots of money.
Yep, Houlihan. 225 rupees. Oh dear, apparently we have no game audio either. Well, I'm sure Amrith will get that figured out.
As long as we are heard, it's probably somewhat okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, as long as there's gameplay up on screen, that's something, right? Ooh, Green Pendant Tower Hera.
That's always an interesting green pendant. It is not a very long dungeon. It can be cleared with very little stuff, but sometimes it's just firelocked. And do you really want to do the basement to do a pendant dungeon?
Ooh. Why is that not? But you can actually do a something called Harapot, which lets you go straight to the you know, top basically.
But that also requires you to have the hookshot at least.
True.
And depending on how well versed you are in different setups, you might need the boots.
And in either case, you're gonna need either the hammer or the sword to kill Muldorm. And hookshot or mirror to get up there. Speaking of, oh, and a glove or flute.
Yeah, but there is that mirror. An item that is very nice to find early on to make routing much more smooth. Especially if we will get access to the Dark World.
Yep.
And looks like Eudaimonistic is heading back towards Blind's hideout. Did he forget the back chest here?
He hasn't been in here.
Okay. Interesting.
Bombs and 20 rupees and more bombs and piece of love. 20 rupees on Lumberjack Ledge.
So we probably won't need to grab those. And now we are getting our check of the library and the race game. That art piece is nothing of importance, so no need to come back here. The boots. But I think that flute is probably piquing the interest of our runners.
Possibly.
I mean, would be certainly helpful if you want to do Hera. get us up there.
And there's the fruit for Udai. That'll be nice.
So we'll be probably activating that now, and then it's likely to float down to the south shore. This has quite a bit of items there still to grab. And you would likely want to find the sword or the hammer before you make your way up the mountain. And possibly even fire source. Quick map check. Just 2 regular crystals on Eastern Palestine Desert.
Alright.
Okay, doing the Dagina check with the flute. Or maybe just Desert Edge, okay. Nice piece of information, especially if there's lying something important there. And thinking of Eudaimonistic here, noticing that rupee count and remembering that the bush crabs do drop 20s today, so
That's always a nice drop to have. Have a 20.
could grab an easy Zora money there. Yeah. Minimal cave with bombs is always a bit nerve-wracking, but because sometimes those minimal bombs are quite good at dodging bombs.
Really, the trick I found is waiting until it's shortly before it explodes and just following the mini moldworm around, basically.
Yeah, but then sometimes the minimal cave just decides to run away as soon as you throw.
Yeah, but it's less common. Also, lamp.
Yep. Sure working towards that Aga.
Still no sword, though. We are gonna need at least one sword if we want to kill Aga.
Yep. And looks like if it would be an ice rod cave, Eudaimonistic won't quite get that just yet. Getting jumped by a crab
ooh.
there. But retrying.
And the goose is loose.
And what do we have here in Ice Rod Cave today? More
3
bombs. And looks like Eudaimonistic is setting up a fake flipper here.
Yep.
Which is... yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was... So, I mean, this saves a bit of time, but it's unfortunate that he has no Moon Pearl. Also, opting not to do Hobo. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Doing that for only Zora is an interesting decision at this point with complete Hera open at this point.
Oh
The Zora with that snipe there. And if you are fake flippering and get hit, you will die instantly regardless of how much health you have.
no! At least in the rando, if you get hit in vanilla game, you will No, Amrith, I think I heard of that too, but I guess they ended up not doing it.
And looks like Eudaimonistic is heading over to Eastern Palace. We'll check out the at least 2 items we can grab there. As having that lamp put everything except armors for us in logic. Since we don't have a bow.
Yep. I mean, could always be a vanilla.
Oh, it absolutely could. And to be fair, with 2 bows now since version 31, it's even not that unlikely anymore.
I forget which version of the logic it was, but one of the versions between 18 and like 30 were there was the soft lock fake flippering, but they patched that out in the next version.
When MsMetroid wanted to rescue the old man, but unfortunately a dead rock said, nope, not getting through here, and she had to take a death there. So, with having the old man already be following, at the restart point inside the cave. They are rescuing the old man with only 3 hearts and no weapon to repel those dead rocks.
Never thought to use cape there.
I mean, usually you do not have it this early, and also you do not have magic to support it. I wonder if MsMetroid should maybe just deactivate that cape, as it drains her magic.
Guess she didn't mind.
That's a moon pearl spotted there. Another piece in our puzzle of Darkwood access through Aga.
That is way too deep in for there. Oh, nope.
And down goes.
I think that bomb jump's pixel perfect, isn't it?
I never thought myself or informed myself that well about that bomb jump. Think there is a little bit of leeway, as there's not a single pixel where it is, but I think there are a few different pixels you can stand on, but there's no window of pixels.
There's the Moon Pearl for MsMetroid.
Yeah, but still no way to to get into the Dark World, and I wonder, does the bugnet actually hit switches? Never thought about that myself, but maybe we are required here to hit that switch with just bombs. And Dark World map check. Pendant Deep Down, Pendant Swamp, and our 5-6 crystals are Mire and Skull Woods. So Pendant Deep Down, Pendant Swamp always leaves the question of where will that hookshot finally turn up? As I'd imagine our runners are not really that confident in hovering.
Yeah, hovering's one of those things you have to practice a bit before you can really even feel comfortable trying it in a race setting.
And the sound pendant is also always leaving behind a bad feeling.
Udai almost leaving behind the Moon Pearl as well.
That would have become a problem.
Just like
And now having to face the same problem but with less bombs. Let's see what's here in the first chest. As MsMetroid is detecting the escape sequence with bombs. Trade a bomb to get 3 more. And the first item of Era is done. And that's a small key, so we have to go into the basement to get further. But we do have the lamp, so we can do it.
does get coffee break.
On the other hand, MsMetroid on the way through the escape sequence from front.
Verna.
The other invincibility item, so when you do not want to take damage, you have now everything to choose from to do so.
Except for no magic.
Well, that will have to be collected at some point. And looks like, yeah, has to hit now that key red, the bomb, to not be locked out of the front of escape anymore. While Eudaimonistic on the way up in Tower of Error goes down again to respawn the pots, but the beetles stay dead. And
Hookshot!
well,
Oh my.
certainly good find here. And looks like MsMetroid wants to check the stun price, but has to do so with a bomb.
5 rupees.
And not really needed.
I mean, you'd be surprised. It's bailed me out of a few bad situations, most notably pod entry and
Yeah, but with 1,300 rupees for each of our runners, I imagine this is not very likely to become a problem.
Yeah, probably.
And that was the second item in Tower of Error, but there's still the green pendant left. But with no weapon to hit Moldorm, nothing Eudaimonistic can do right now. So looks like the hookshot we found actually is kind of important to get to Paradox Cave there.
Nice strategy there from MsMetroid. So
Well, maybe we are just supposed to do Aga. I mean, also the sword could be used to fight Moldorm. Would not be a great fight, but at least a way to do it. And also looks like MsMetroid does not really like pot strats against the ball and chain guard here.
does it take 4 bombs or 8 bombs? I forget.
I never killed that guard with bombs, so I couldn't say. And now there's the pot coming. But I think there were only 3 bombs used, and the second pot did the trick already. I'd assume 4 bombs should be enough. Yeah, actually, that hookshot with the small key being found in the front is a logic without a glove, as we got the lamp to just get through the escape sequence the intended way. Interestingly enough, MsMetroid looks to want to head back into Hera instead of doing Paradox Cave first here. Ooh. Eudaimonistic haven't found that sword. Actually, pulling the trigger on Aga here.
That's he's not got hookshot though.
Yeah, that is a very, very early Aga play here. There's not much open if you get to the Dark World here. It is the Pyramid Edge, it is the first chest and pod, and then it depends on how many keys you found. Also, doing the tower with Fighter Sword only is quite the pain.
Yeah, it's not.
MsMetroid now sees no magic, but takes the smaller magic refill here. And now the big one. We did get to see both items in Hera, so there's nothing Mrs. Metroid will find here right now. The only thing that we don't know is what's behind that green pendant that is in Logic. Metroid hooking over to the big chest, but without boots you have no real way to get back.
Yep.
So has to take the fall there.
There's actually a really nice spin setup to get the bomb jump there. Basically, you... Oh, and we've got Aga coming up, so I'm gonna say 15 blue balls.
Then I'll go with the probably most likely 3.
So how the spin setup for bomb jumps works is charge up a spin attack, go back slowly until you start to slip into the pit, release the spin, and...
We'll go now in the rage phase.
One blue ball. Also, ooh.
Getting bounced off there.
Ooh, 2 blue balls. Three. So this is going a little bit better. Ooh, ooh, oh, I just had to say 2 blue balls. So I believe with current equipment, Udai can only do pod, catfish, and pyramid ledge. Or no, not even catfish. Just no.
I just wanted to say that, but that is a bottle at least, and that opens up this check on Sick Kid.
Yeah, and if he knows how, he might opt to go for potion glitch and pod.
Very good point, actually. Getting a bottle with a potion right before going into pod is really, really nice. Oh! What's not so nice is getting hit by that enemy taking 3 hearts off of you. With
I mean, at least you're just gonna be put up top the pyramid with Aga killed and
on the other side, MsMetroid not getting good luck there, still getting pushed off.
I hope maybe if she keeps getting hit, she might just I hope she knows about the pot of fairies down below.
Second try for Eudaimonistic. Better RNG on the enemy there.
Oh no, Moldor is just not being nice.
Absolutely not. And I still have to wonder if Metroid chose to do Pen and Terra over going to Paradox Cave first. So all this trouble could have been avoided possibly. And now to the rage phase. Oh!
Come on, MsMetroid, you can do it.
This is just heartbreaking to watch, and nope, those hearts won't respawn. There's one more left. Looks like the beetles actually drop hearts.
Yeah, it's in their prize pack, it appears. Come on, MsMetroid, you got this. You got this. Come on, let's do it.
And actually, now remembering to have Cape and Burner. Oh. Which is actually a good thing, because when you activate your invincibility, Molom cannot bounce you around any longer. Which does make the fight easier in the rage phase, but maybe you should not activate it
Oh
so.
no, it's just. Oh.
So Moldorm itself cannot bounce you, but if you spin with your sword onto Moldorm or slash onto Moldorm, that will bounce you back. And unfortunately, this was the bounce right into the middle. Looks like we are getting to see a potion glitch attempt here.
So. The exact mechanics I'm not going to get into with this, but what you want to do is be at the top middle of that room. Exact position isn't too important. Just somewhere near the middle. Start walking left, and as you're walking left, drink the potion, and then hug the wall until you enter the next room, and then walk to the right and manipulate the mimics. If you move to the right even a single pixel, whether that's the door or yourself doing it, it will fail. Any potion will work. Oh. This is very unfortunate.
Yeah, but staying strong there, not losing the confidence.
There
And
it goes.
Moldorm down, and Green Pendant can now be collected for MsMetroid. Looks like Eudaimonistic tried an hammer jump here, but fails and takes death because of it. And I just wanted to say, MsMetroid seems to want the flute away from the mountain, but seemingly remembering just in time that there's still a hookshot to use to get over to Paradox Cave.
Well, let's see what's here. Quake and heart container. Yeah, she still has even if there's nothing over here on East. Ooh, powder. East West Mountain. Ooh, and a glove. That'll give her more access once she gets over to the Dark World.
Yeah, it looks like that Aga play from Eudaimonistic might have been required after all, as
It's
without
not
that.
confirmed yet, because we've only found one glove in the Dark World. Fire Rod, ooh. Pod is loaded today.
Meanwhile, inside of Paradox Cave, aside from the Quake and the Bombos medallion,
There's still gonna be an item on Helma, but he's not gonna be able to get it at the.
at least Blue Mail was found for MsMetroid. That will certainly
Oh,
help when getting into the Dark World. And looks like Eudaimonistic is a little bit lost on what to do, and hopefully does remember that with the small key being found that the escape sequence is actually in logic.
yep, that seems to be where he's going right now.
What is just getting confused by that Agaport though. But you have the mirror, so you can just always just mirror back after taking this portal if you want to go back to the front of escape end. Oh, right. That found glove actually now opens up catfish for us.
Yep.
I think MsMetroid wanted to flew to 4, but accidentally hit the 5.
That's always frustrating, but yeah, that's a. I guess she's turning it in from this direction.
And just bomb.
Oh my goodness! Oh, so yes, Aga is 100% required, and that's a hammer on the catfish.
And that's not just the hammer on the catfish, that's the hammer on the catfish where you apparently had to go into Palace of Darkness first to grab that glove to even be able to get that hammer.
Yep.
Although I have to say I have not fully paid attention to the key logic and how much of the back was actually in logic without having a bow.
So pod is complicated. Pod is very complicated.
But
Because even if there was one small key on the right side, if the bow if the bow was locked behind the dark maze, or the hammer was, then it will still be in logic. Due to some very interesting.
well, Eudaimonistic just bought the Master Sword of Zora after I haven't gotten that glove. So this sword actually not in logic to help us on our way to Aga. So we didn't find the gloves or the flippers before getting to the Dark World.
Logic is.
But with hammer, glove, and moonfall.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Eudaimonistic doing that happy dance with the sword there. Finding that midst. Oh boy, What is seed?
Yeah, really. Both gloves and the hammer in the dark world. Postaga.
So for you to even be able to get your hammer, you had to either dip into the back of Pod without a bow, or had to take a round trip all around the Dark World, starting from Aga and using a hookshot to get over to the west side, to get over to Hype Cave.
So, well, no, because you. Well.
Oh no, wait,
Yeah, you
we had
could.
no
With the
glove.
hook shot.
No, with no flippers, no glove, no hammer. We couldn't get to that hookshot spot. So that
To
pod
that
would
what
actually.
spot? Sorry, I couldn't understand what you said there.
We couldn't get past that barrier to get to the hookshot right now, to the hookshot spot on the way to Catfish, without dipping into Pod. Because we didn't get the hammer to hammer down the pack, we didn't get the glove to bypass it, and we did not find the flippers yet. So that glove and Pod.
Yes, but we had hook shot. Oh wait. Oh.
That was what I was trying to say. We couldn't use the hookshot there. We couldn't get to it.
Okay, now I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So, yeah, was actually fully required to grab that glove out of the back of Pod to get your hammer. Or, yeah.
Now, here's a question though. Oh, yeah, right. Like you were. Yeah, this is a very
MsMetroid looks to be getting bullied by those blue guards there. It's down to 2 hearts here. But makes at least use of the hookshot to stun those red guards.
MsMetroid gonna need to be.
Oh. Back up to 2.5 hearts, but there's no more hearts to be found here. Yes, Eudaimonistic has taken the south route of the Dark World to go up to Village of Outcast. Haven't gotten those mids. Did not really find anything worthwhile on the way yet.
Gonna go ahead and check purple.
And with Mirror and Flute, this is a pretty quick check. In comparison to when you do not have any of those. Just a little bit more money. And that was the Bombos medallion required for Misery Maya. And the bow and mire shed. So for Eudaimonistic is now the option to just head straight back over to Palace of Darkness and finish the dungeon. And even do an Eastern Palace clear after it.
And Desert's boots lock.
What?
Gonna...
May not just be yet.
Well, logically, anyway.
Nope. It's hard boost locked. And looks like Eudaimonistic is going back to the Thieves Town area with Abandoned Thieves Town that possibly is full clearable, and the Skullwoods crystal that is fully clearable. There are quite a few checks you can make here still. But at some point, Eudaimonistic has to go back to the back of escape to grab that hookshot.
Just a vanilla piece of heart there.
So the key in escape was in the front, so it was accessible without a glove.
There's another bottle for you. Oh, you know, that's actually not the worst strat in the world. To just like steal the key and then mirror out.
Nope, it's definitely not the worst, as even if you steal that key, you will be getting it back if it is in the back of escape.
Yeah, exactly. I might just steal that.
I mean, in this case, it wasn't really necessary as the key itself was in the front. MsMetroid chose to do so anyway.
So how the key logic works with escape is that Zelda's cell and the boomerang chest cannot have the small. So if you don't get that small key in the map chest there, you can just steal the key and continue on.
It looks like now MsMetroid is trying that hammer, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the harder tricks in the game. It's double pixel perfect on the vertical axis.
This might be it. Yeah.
Yep, she got it.
And is only rewarded with a map.
20 rupees. Oh, wait. Never mind. But she is gonna get her progression out of pod here.
Or she will be forced to mirror out here though, as she has no small key to get through that door. Does collect the fire rods though. Oh, MsMetroid will grab powder and the glove. So is now able to check Catfish and access the west side of the Dark World. Eudaimonistic is doing the back of Pendant Thieves Town. Only a red rupee in the maiden's chest here. But with that small key found, looks like we're getting a check of the big chest using that hammer. And this seems to be the last item, and Eudaimonistic says nope, not gonna fight blind any longer. MsMetroid chose to mirror after leaving port and to check out Eastern Palace for now.
You know, I generally agree with the play to Eastern just because half of it is in Sphere World.
Yeah, and when you are already there and just have to mirror, it's quite reasonable.
Where did Udai find the bow?
That was in the Meyer shed.
Oh,
So you had to grab the glove out of pot, then had to go to either Catfish or do the big loop around the Dark World to grab the mids, and then you could grab your bow. So not really much in Eastern so far. Eudaimonistic is finally getting us the show of what's in Skullwoods here. Remembering that bunny beam below that pot there to get an easy ferry with that powder. Also grabbing that full magic refill here before heading over to Mothula.
Oh my, MsMetroid. Yeah, thank you. Okay. MsMetroid, you had to keep. You didn't have to go through that. Okay, she made it.
And that was apparently all 3 items in Eastern here. But nothing worthwhile. Or did MsMetroid actually skip a chest?
I think she's death ward.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Fair. So, Mothula fight with Master Sword, Fire Rod half magic, and Hammer, but on Green Mail 8 hearts. It's really solid though, and well done.
Down. Just for a map, that gets a 5-6 crystal out of it.
And MsMetroid ignoring that spot to hookshot over and is indeed heading over to Catfish. So we'll be getting that hammer.
I do hope she checks Hype Cave fairly soon, though. Probably will, though. It's not a very common place to skip.
Especially if you just got the hammer, you can easily flute over there, or after a 7 quit when you miss the
Oh,
Zoro.
she's gonna go get her Master Sword.
Yeah, and if you then save and quit and just start the next house, you're practically at Hype Cave, so can't imagine just skipping that. Ooh. There's the book. Now, with Mit's flute and mirror already found, we don't really need the book to access Desert Palace, but there are still the Ether and the Bombos tablet. And there could just be progression on those. Oh. And Eudaimonistic gets a bit jumped down by those birds. Three hard damage on green mail. That's not really nice.
And just like you were saying, going to get her Mit's here now.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Hype Cave is not even close to living up to its name since a very, very long time, but you still can't just leave those 5 chests unchecked. Yeah, it's just too likely that there's at least one thing of progression every now and then there.
I mean, it is 5 very quick items.
And also MsMetroid taking the same route apparently after fighting those myths.
Oh, flippers!
Ooh.
Flippers and graveyard.
An interesting find, because we might not necessarily needed to find those. As Swamp Palace is only a pendant, and Ice Palace, while a crystal, could always be fake flipper too. But yeah. Will be interesting to see what Eudaimonistic is doing with those.
So, I mean, now that I'm looking at it, we're actually getting kind of close to no mode. We need Ice Rod, we need Samaria.
And we need knowledge of the Turtle Rock Medallion.
Might need Ether, and we might need Boots.
Well, we need boots.
Oh, right, because... Never mind. Yep.
Yep, Eudaimonistic checked, and there's only the key on the torch, the map, and the chest. MsMetroid now doing the Smith chain here, as Eudaimonistic is taking those flippers and will visit the waterfall. Okay.
And nothing much in there. Let's see what the fairy gives.
Ooh,
Ooh, what potion?
free blue goo.
You're gonna drink that red goo too while he's at it.
Yep. I always like free blue goo.
Don't we all?
And back to the Hype Cave portal here. I really don't hope those flippers won't tempt Eudaimonistic into doing an early Pendant Swamp play here. Well, with that book, that might be just to check off the Bombos tablet here first.
Nothing on Bombo's tablet.
Floating away.
So, we... Oh, you know, have we seen the first 4 of Thieves?
We have seen all 4 items of thieves, as Eudaimonistic even went into the bag, out to the big chest, but then mirrored out and hello there, second bow. Just casually sitting on Sickit all the time. So while having the flute, Eudaimonistic never bothered to go back to grab those easy silvers lying around there. Instead, checking Spike Cave right now. Second tablet to check here for Eudaimonistic.
Heart container.
And we'll now take the hammer to go over to the... Nope. Seems like this will be in finish of Tower of Hera to get that green pendant here. Interesting decisions, considering Eudaimonistic already got both items out of Hera earlier. And with not only Paradox Cave open, but now even Super Bunny Cave open. And the option to check the Torch Rock Medallion. There is really much, or there's very much will to clear pendant dungeons here between both of our 2 runners here. Compared to MsMetroid earlier, though, having at least the Master Sword and the Hammer will make for a much easier Moldop fight.
And Moldorm taking another victim.
I said easier, not easy fight. Nice spin there, though.
Oof.
Oh boy, Moldorm really in top form today.
I don't know that was so much Moldorm. That kind of looked like he just kind of started walking off the ledge and then Moldorm just helped him off the final bit.
Yeah, but at least Moldorm knows when to strike. There we go. MsMetroid on the way over to the Mothula fight.
So, what do we have at this point? We've got Armos. I'm not sure if they have an item or not.
Armos should not have any item anymore. I think there's just a map missing in Easter.
Helma, Hookshotless Swamp, which ew.
We have the hookshot found. Eudaimonistic just has
Oh,
to go
right.
back of escape.
Oh,
So there
that's
would
right.
actually be a full clear swarm possible.
Okay, and then we've got ice, possibly Meyer, possibly Turtle Rock. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff, which is
Without the cane, at least Turtle Rock's not on the table.
oh, Turtle Rock. Yeah, it's
But pretty much everything else, aside from desert, is open to us.
oh, Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah. Well,
Have we seen Pet yet?
I don't think so. Eudaimonistic found the book after doing Skullwoods. MsMetroid does not didn't find the book yet.
Speaking of Dark Death Mountain, we're probably gonna get a check here after it does light.
Yeah, although that Dark Death Mountain here would be really only Super Bunny Cave and maybe a check at the Turtle Rock Medallion. Without boots and without hookshot, Eudaimonistic has no means to get any of the checks in hookshot cave.
Good. So, despite the early setback with Moldor, MsMetroid's caught up and seems to have surpassed Udai at this point, aside from the flippers. But if she goes to Graveyard Cave, even that'll. Oh,
Yeah, drinking that green potion and then pulling out that cape just in time. Takes down Mothula and also collecting crystal number 1. Floating island, just a red rupee, won't be needed to collect.
alright. Let's see what the medallion. Will it be Ether?
Nope.
Survey says nope.
So Paradox Cave with the keys to both our medallion dungeons. Heaven Bombus for Meyer and the Quake for Turtle Rock. So yeah. 2 items left to locate. Cane of Samaria and that ever elusive Ice Rod. Oh, yeah, okay. You're right.
Just 2 sets of bombs in the Super Bunny. Oh boy. Where's Udai going? Spike? No, he did.
Think he did Spike. He even walked out of there using up one of the blue potions.
Oh, he's just gonna fleet away, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, oh. Is that a trip towards Ice Palace here? Might be fully in logic, as we know that the hookshot is at least accessible. Looks like MsMetroid is indeed planning to give us our pedestal check here. I haven't found that book. So Eudaimonistic using the Bomb Rolls Battalion on those Pen Gators here. I'd say it's a good idea, but having the Quake Medallion, that would actually be a little bit faster. Pedestal,
Just couch cash.
Floating back down, head back into the Dark World. Will MsMetroid head over to Graveyard Edge and grab those flippers? Nope. Looks more like... Oh, we'll check out cards, okay. They just go what's first. Makes sense. Spell Pump Jump attempt from Eudaimonistic. This one looked good. And very nice bomb setup here for those Pen Gators. MsMetroid continuing in Thieves Town, not leaving after the front.
A bit unfortunate, but well.
I mean, having found 3 dungeon items in the front, therefore 3 items in the back, I can see the temptation to just go do it. It is an easy dungeon. And looks like Eudaimonistic is trying that and second bomb jump here in Ice Palace to skip the hookshot here. Gets it. And the Cane of Samaria here on the right side in Ice Palace. So this now opens up Turtle Rock for us, and that's us full clear Misery Maya, at least over both our runners, as they only have pieces of the respective puzzle.
Yep. Udai not having boots or hookshot to get in, and MsMetroid not having King of Samaria. I hope he hasn't forgotten about Back of Escape.
That would be truly terrible. But there's now a cold stair fight to worry about first. Using bombos to crack open the shell. And then having at least the fire rod to make use of in combination with half magic.
It's always nice when the fire rod shot hits multiple cold steroids.
And that was a very, very nice stun. Cold stair fight here, rewarding with just 20 rupees, but the second crystal. That's right, it's for Eudaimonistic.
I mean, does anybody know if Udai can hover? Because if he can hover, then he's not gonna have a problem. Assuming nothing's in the back of swamp anyway.
And now there's coming up the question of Ice Palace being hookshot locked. I actually believe it was not. As I seem to remember, we might have gotten a small key first, but the big key was right side.
I mean, I'm not sure, but really another question is, was he even paying attention to was it hookshot locked? Or even know if the logic...
Now that I'm thinking more and more about it, actually the big key might have just been in Ice Tea room, and that puts possible hookshot lock at least logically back into action, I think. Ice Palace key logic. Bah. Not my favorite topic. So MsMetroid getting silvers now.
Either way, we know the hookshot is not in Ganon's tower because we know it's in the back of Escape. But
Yeah, if Eudaimonistic would assume the hookshot in Ganon's tower, this would be very, very bad.
people, this is why you need to learn to hover. Just in case stuff like...
Just learn your Ice Palace key logic, then you know if it would be possible.
Yeah, but if you learn to hover, then, you know, in cases like this, it'll never come back to bite you. Because you can just hover the Moldorm to get.
I mean, if you bother to learn to hover, why not learn Molderborns instead? Won't even need the boots.
because Moldor bounce is significantly harder and trickier to pull off. And requires RNG dependence.
It's not like learning Hovern is just easy.
Easier. I've tried both. Well, I can, Xylo, and I've... This is exactly why I learned to hover. This case is...
Well, I mean, usually I'm not just skipping back off escape, so yeah. No need to hover if you have the hookshot.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've seen somebody win a race by like 40 minutes just because they could hover.
Yeah, but I don't think I personally lost the race yet because I couldn't hover.
Fair.
Granted, there was a seat where hovering would actually be an easy win there, but my other opponent couldn't, so lucked out there.
You know, I honestly only know of 2 people who can somewhat consistently do Muldorm 2 bounce, and that's Aussie and Cassidy. But, well, and MsMetroid gonna be able to check hook.
Yeah, so if there's a question about it, MsMetroid had the hookshot way earlier, so already did Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave. So has no need to check those anymore. So maybe just wanted to...
MsMetroid?
Yeah, that won't work.
Yeah, go back up the stairs and then you can come back down and do it again.
Meanwhile, Eudaimonistic finishing off Armor's Knights, collecting another crystal. Getting up to 4. And now our look into Hookshot Cave.
This is interesting though, because MsMetroid is 3 crystals behind, but if Udai really doesn't know how to hover and has forgotten the back of a... This could be quite interesting.
On the other hand, there is still the need to find that ice rod and the boots. And if one of those is somewhat locked behind that hookshot, back in the swamp, in the back of Swamp Palace, Eudaimonistic will be forced to find it at some point.
I mean, Xylo, we're gonna be required to get boots before getting in the shower.
Yeah. Eudaimonistic did make that trip into Desert Palace, saw that small key on the torch, and there was only a map in the chest, so for us to get that crystal out of Desert Palace, we will find those boots eventually.
And yes, desert is boots locked. Small key on torch and map in the middle. Oh, is Udai making? He's making the play. Okay.
Without hookshot, I think he has not much more left. Cannot go further into Desert Palace, cannot get into Misery Mire. So the only option left is Touch a Rock at this point.
Or front of swamp.
True. But I think getting into TR without the Ice Rod is still a more attractive option than getting into Swamp Palace without the Hookshot. Especially if Swamp is a
Oh
pendant.
yeah. Easily, but yeah, like just saying, he could very well go to swamp after this.
So, and MsMetroid on the way to Misery Mire?
Pedestal could still be required.
Yep. As
Both
long as
items are. Huh?
as long as the boots or the ice rod are enlarged, that pedestal will stay alive.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I mean, it's getting late a bit, so yeah. Also, a little bit time has gone by since MsMetroid actually took the book over to the pedestal, which contains code cache, but if we wouldn't know that, there would still be a chance for boots or ice rod on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And looks like MsMetroid stocking up on blue potions before tackling Mire. So I know the cane was on the right side of Ice Palace. And I know there was at least one small key on the left side, but the question is where was the big key? And the big key.
Ice tea room. Okay, so Ice Palace is hookshot locked, I think.
And not only that, by logic, the cane of Somaria is hookshot locked. So if you know your Ice Palace key logic, you could infer that You should have found the hookshot before you found the cane of Samaria.
Yes, but Ice Pal's logic is very uh, difficult.
It truly is. MsMetroid running out of magic trying to portal that anti-fairy. And has not found the cane of Samaria yet while dipping here into Misery Mire, so can not clear this full clear this dungeon and also cannot fake powder. So would need to find magic to reduce that powder. But deciding to drink that blue potion. Interesting decision with that full magic refill just right in the lower room here. Grabbing that heart piece out of the first chest here.
I mean, I wouldn't judge anybody for not knowing the specifics of Ice Pal's logic.
No, I mean, I am still alive in the main tournament, right? And I am just starting to grasp some of the more intricate situations there, so not knowing them didn't really pose to be a problem for me until now.
Best of luck with that. Alright, it's not in Turtle Rock. So Ice Rod is elsewhere, as are Boots.
And that is Green Pendant turn in.
Yeah, Swan seems like seems like the play. Or else oh, we still have that item on Helmasaur.
Also, technically we have the red bomb available to us. Though
Yes, but neither of our runners can get it at the moment.
Yeah. And looks like Eudaimonistic remembered the back of his cape because he's on the way to grab his hookshot.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yep. Very happy. Very happy.
I'm not sure that was happy slashes.
They're always happy slashes, aren't they?
Sure.
I mean, this is a fun game. We all like to race, and since this is Rendo and we all love to play Rendo, when something like this happens, we are happy, aren't we?
I mean, are you happy if you find that in a tournament match?
I'm so happy I'm doing some extra slashes. To waste even more time.
Mire next.
Yeah.
Or not.
Maybe just... oh. Okay. That is a bold move here. This looks like a possible Swamp Palace play. So... I can only assume Eudaimonistic does not really feel good after finding that hook just now.
No, this seems like a oh my gosh, I'm so far behind feeling play.
Or maybe thought that Swamp Palace actually was a crystal. And just now checked the map to make sure and found out that it was indeed Maya which was the crystal.
Not quite sure why he equipped flute.
I am confused. But yeah, sure looks like a Swamp Palace play here. I mean, it makes sense in the... or when Eudaimonistic does say, okay, I'm so far behind, I have to hope there's something here, but... Normally you would probably clear Misery Maya first, as it is a crystal, and the second red crystal at that, so you at least get access to the red bomb.
So, if I'm judging this correctly, I think the dark maze was actually out of luck.
Well, there was that bow sitting all the time there on Thicket, and I don't know exactly when, but we got an old bottle very early on.
It was on the pyramid blade.
So yeah, basically from that one point on, everything was in logic, we just didn't know it. This is Metroid. On the way to Helmets for King, and will be doing Armored Knights soon after. Good idea to finally clear out those crystals. So you have...
The game wanted us to get the pyramid bottle, to go to Sick Kid, to go to Pod to get the glove, to go to Catfish to get the hammer, to go back and get the... wow. Also, Mercer, so it's our belief that Udai feels behind after finding the hookshot in the back of Escape just recently.
Yeah, so Eudaimonistic basically skipped his hookshot for about, yeah, let's say for about an hour at least. So feeling behind at that point when you finally grab it is probably most of the time quite correct. And as we are still searching Boots and Ice Rod, the likelihood of at least one of those two being inside Pendant Swamp is not that low.
Huh, green rupee from Helma.
On the left side swamp, 50 rupees and a big key.
Yes, Fajita Knight. So both gloves and the hammer were in Dark World. Glove was in Pod, Glove was in Hype Cave, and hammer was on Catfish.
Yep. And it was even an fighter sword only Agatha climb.
Yep, at least logically.
I mean, technically you could have had the hookshot as a way to stun your enemies, but that's all what available on weapons. You could have also sequence broken your Master Sword of Zora. Yeah.
Well, we're down to the last 4 items. I don't think we've found anything in here at the moment. Oh!
There's the ice rod, and that was required to find the hookshot for. So, Trinex now an option, and
a fetch quest.
hello mushroom. Yeah, that.
Also, yes, I'd say that Udai has a fairly significant lead, actually.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's multiple crystals ahead. He's multiple items ahead.
Eudaimonistic doing double slashes on those Argus paths. But at least hooking 2 of those at a time, so make the fight a little bit faster.
I mean, yes, chat, but she still has to do 5 crystals where Udai only has 2 and a boss left. Actually, yeah. 2 and a boss.
Eudaimonistic has to find the big key in Misery Maya still, which MsMetroid would only need to do a boss rush of that, at least. But has to still to full clear Ice Palace, or at least grab that Cane of Samaria out of there. And also has to head to the back of the of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that's another
Or
big
that ice
one.
rod.
Like, people do not want to do Pendant Swamp.
But MsMetroid does take the portal, which would allow her to do so.
Okay, well, that works.
But still not tackling an Ice Palace, which is open since quite a bit. But this looks more like a boneless tablet check. And there is still one big question, because we still did not find those boots.
I mean, it could be Trinex. Or it could be Vitreous. Or it could be Big Bomb, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we're kind of running out of locations. I think we're just left with Trinex Big Bomb and Vitreous, aren't we?
Sounds about right. We did not find a shovel, so Dig Spot is not an option.
And Pet is already dead.
And I believe everything else was at least checked by one of our runners.
Yeah. Well, she's gonna get flippers here momentarily, so...
Yeah, I totally blanked on those being still not found, because those being hidden on Grave Ledge, yeah. That does make sense why no play to Ice Palace.
I mean, I can't blame her. Like, that's not a play you really want to make, because you'd rather go mode Ice Palace if at all possible. So if you can't even get there logically, it's kind of a, do I really want
Yeah, and I mean, we just found out that we needed to access to the back of Swamp Palace, which those flippers are an absolute requirement for. While you always could fake flipper ice, even if it's not in logic, that does not work for Swamp Palace.
I mean, you can fake flipper in Swamp, it just doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah. And if you cannot check any items in there, why would you even bother doing it?
So here's the thing, Mercer. You can get fake flipper state, but I believe it's something about if you don't, something about layers of the ladders and such not being on the correct layer or something. Yeah. Okay, Asger confirming what I'm saying. Okay, Asder, you say really difficult. Does that mean there's a way to do it?
MsMetroid still not heading over to Ice Palace, checking those flipper checks first. And looks like Eudaimonistic actually skipped the big key here. Instead heading straight towards that big chest. And nope, that does not work. You have to to get into the main lobby for the bridge to reset. Yeah. MsMetroid finally making a play over to Ice Palace. Which means finding that cane of Somaria soon. Here's the small key in the first chest of Ice Palace. Eudaimonistic almost at victorious. Did not find those silver arrows yet lying around at Thicket. So has to work with the Master Sword and the cape.
I mean, regular arrows also work to a degree. Not very preferable, though.
Yeah, you really would at least do some semblance of sword usage to save a few arrows. If you would probably like to have at least 8 for the second phase.
There they are!
And there are those boots, and at almost exactly 2 hours, Eudaimonistic finally hits go mode. So yeah, turns out that hookshot was kinda important. The Eudaimonistic deciding to grabbing that Desert Palace big chest even after having found the big key. With the silver still not found and only on Master Sword, I imagine searching for an additional sword upgrade or for those silvers is still pretty big or a pretty important thing to do here. But yeah, I mean, we didn't see a Pyramid Fairy, but we will have seen everything else by the point we hit GT, so there just has to be at least one sword in GT, right?
Probably. Unless they're both in Pyramid Fairy.
Question is always, will you find this sword before you find the GT big key? And if so, do you then decide to dig further in search of a sword? Or do you just say, well,
I mean, I I think that they might check close by chests, but I think they're both comfortable enough where they would not go out of the way for, you know, a sword. Maybe close by, like, you know, the upstairs chests and whatnot.
MsMetroid actually deciding to walk backwards from Ice-T room after grabbing that big key. Not something you see often. And with having done that bomb jump, that is not really a good way to get to that big chest. And probably now walking back. So I imagine Miss Metroid wanted to go back to that big chest, which she didn't have found the big key for. Then found it in Ice-T room and wanted to walk back, but with that bomb jump being done and the switch therefore been with blue down and red up, she couldn't really get it the way she wanted to.
You know, though, probably one of the best bomb jumps I know of is really just a convenience one. But the room before Ice-T room really just is horrible, and if you just get yourself into the corner and bomb yourself, you'll just skid across to the other side without having to deal with the fire bar.
Miss Metroid has found the way back. And gets that one more heart container. And Eudaimonistic on the way over to Trinix will soon be able to collect crystal number 7. As Miss Metroid is on the gold stir fight, using the same tactic of breaking the shell with bombos and then using that fire rod.
I don't think Ice Rod actually does any damage, you know.
Well, it seemed to have at least some effect. Yep, looks like Miss Metroid mirror bombed.
You're not careful. Oh my god. Oh my god. Careful. Okay.
gets it done. And just the map on Trinix, but crystal number 7 for Eudaimonistic. So there's only Ganon's tower left.
Alright, I'm gonna say 22.
I guess I'll go with my true and trusted 3. Of course, 3 refers here to the tile room, because that's the only way to route Ganon's tower. But Eudaimonistic taking the detour. Second paradox, not paradox, hookshot cave for an additional sword. Now with that cane fountain, MsMetroid already back in Mire on the way to Vitreous. We'll find the boots, those boots there, but then is still searching for the dice rod.
Alright, gonna go right side.
Has found the small key. Doing the good route. And just a small key.
So no tile room today.
Not the best order to check those chests. You probably should leave that upper left chest for last.
Yeah, because it makes all the pits appear.
Small key on the torch. As MsMetroid has collected those boots, and crystal number 5 is now able to clear out Desert Palace.
There's a sword.
No real surprise there. There had to be one somewhere.
So I think that's 12 we're at so far.
7 on the right, 8 the torch, 12 just here. Yeah, should be number 13 upcoming.
Not 13.
Not number 14. Not here. So now comes... Now there are upcoming
18.
bills.
18 through 22.
And they'll leave the question... You are already over
Oh,
here.
19 through 22, sorry.
Yep. You are already over here. Do you check the big chest for the silvers?
I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I said 22. Nope,
Oh, it's the 19.
19.
Oh, that is rude. That mimic blocking bullet sword beams.
Yeah, but makes it through. Also, this is one of the worst rooms in the game. That Euda's in right now.
Well, with Mirror Shield you actually could just block those Igor's shots. Or mimic shots or... whatever those enemies are. I mean, you can't block those, but from those red enemies at least you could block their shot.
But it's the beamers that are really annoying.
And MsMetroid, after having done Meyer, does turn in that red bomb. Still not diving into swamp though.
Where was Scythe Rod again?
Back off swamp.
Ah, right. Oh, that's, oof.
So MsMetroid still has full Turtle Rock open and Pendant Swamp. Eudaimonistic made it through the Moldon 2 fight. Not Moldon, Land Mode 2. And
Oh. Well,
sword and mail at Bedbury. Very nice safety. And looks like MsMetroid taking that tank bottle, doing the boots checks.
seems reasonable.
Yay.
Real question is, what does she...
I wouldn't say, or I couldn't say. This really depends on, do you want to find the ice rod before you go to the rock, or do you just decide, okay, it's probably up there anyway. And Eudaimonistic still opening chests. Probably still hoping to find that those silvers at least. Finds the shovel instead.
Alright, MsMetroid, what's it gonna be? Oh no, she's going Turtle Rock. Vanilla final chest.
Yeah, I do not blame her at all for deciding to do this. It's at this point basically just a
Neither do I.
50-50.
I mean, it really is, because there's 5 items plus Mimic Keys and Turtle Rock and 6 items and
There's the one difference of in Swamp you are guaranteed to be able to get all 6 items. You might not be able.
but it's also a pendant.
In Turtle Rock though, you might not be able to get that last pendant if it is on Trinix itself. Which it isn't this time, but there's also no ice rod up here. Eudaimonistic now onto the Ganon fight. Has the tempered sword at least, so it's not the worst. 12 slashes for the first and for the second phase each. Gets even a double spin here. Very nice one cycle. Can you get the 1-1? Looking good. Very, very nice cannon fight here by Eudaimonistic. Trying to get that early silver licit. Did stun gun instead, but gets the torch glitch. And now 12 spins to finish off Ganon. 2 already landed.
GG. Hello, I think that was Udai. How
Good, hello. GG.
GG's.
Finishing with a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 2 seconds. So crucial time. And yeah. That was something, wasn't it?
One of the rudest seeds I've ever played by far.
Yeah. So, that
Yeah, I spent quite a long time looking for it, didn't I?
Yeah, MsMetroid actually got it before even going to Aga.
before even going up the mountain much.
Yeah, it's a silly thing to forget too. I mean, like, Back of Escape, probably one of the most accessible locations early in the race. I mean, Glove didn't really take that long to find, but it's just one of those things where I was just, trying to play as safe as I could. But, I ended up forgetting that one overworld thing as I was doing literally everything else I could.
So it appeared like you felt you were behind. Is that the case?
Yes, and then when I found the hook shot, I felt like I was like in a deep pit, very, very behind. But it looks like basically all of the double dips kind of worked to my advantage in that respect because there's a couple of sequence breaks I could do. I was able to do the to check basically all of pod, so I didn't like triple dip it or something. And I was able to do a bomb jump in Ice Palace, which helped me do the rest of that without hook shot and feel confident that I didn't leave anything. And I think that's probably the one thing that kept me going is that I knew I wasn't leaving anything behind anywhere.
That's fair. So she was actually, I think, 3 crystals behind you at that point.
And in this scenario, very understandable. I mean, for one, she definitely wants to have silver arrows, for the Ganon fight. So if you're looking for that on top of the other go mode items, you feel more and more, like you have to go for every last possible check. I almost would have gone to blind in the pedestal. I was thinking about it, and then like a flash of lightning at the very last second, I'm like, did I check Dark Cross? And then I realized, oh wait, I didn't do Back of Escape either.
Yeah. Also, silvers, I believe, were Sick Kid.
Oh
For
no.
you at least. I wanted to ask you about it because you spoke of those. Do you hate Sickit? Why never went there?
The sad thing is, I did remember halfway through the race and then forgot again.
Was kind of funny because that was the first bow for MsMetroid. So yeah, shown off why one of the new editions of version 31 really well. Progressive bows now.
Yeah, I
We have
do enjoy progressive bows in general, but it's one of those situations in this race where it can just really wombo combo you. Just you find stuff at the wrong time, and fortunately for me, I ended up kind of working it out. But I mean, that could have been disastrous if I wasn't feeling good about my silverless fight.
yeah. Although you didn't really have many things left to check in the end.
Yeah, I think it was Big Bomb. It was Boots locations and Sick Kid. I think that's pretty much it. I ended up with I think 190 checks total.
Yeah. Also
Yes.
the shovel you just got in the climb of GT. I think Primo Lorn.
We're gonna let that one remain a mystery, I think.
Also, in Pyramid Fairy were the red mail and the gold sword.
Okay, all right. That's. For the longest time, I was really worried about not getting Tempered Sword. I mean, like I can do Silverless Master Sword, but like I'm not good at it. Like the first 2 phases would be the biggest problem for me, so I would have probably picked up potions for that. But yeah, I was really looking for that tempered at the minimum.
Yeah, having that tempered there was kind of nice. So unfortunately, MsMetroid does not have the Ice Rod and is about to do Laser Bridge.
Ice Rod was also a big meanie. Literally the only thing you want in Swamp Palace. So on the bright side, if she routes it better than I would have, which is do literally everything, she would get it on the way to Argus, which is beneficial.
Thing is, MsMetroid, unfortunately, I think last located those flippers being on Graveyard Ledge.
I almost missed those too. I died on the way there.
Oh no.
Although I have to wonder, did MsMetroid check the library very early in the seed like I did? We got burned by that last game. It was Go Mode Quake in our last in game 1.
Oh no. Oh, goodness.
I think it was pretty early checked by both of you in this seed at least. Was a bit of confusion. I think you actually did forgot to head into blind hideout at first, so you had to
Yeah.
go back there.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward routing through there because I didn't want to jump into one of those without a bomb. And I had enough rupees to buy some and get bottle vendor. But it ended up being the wrong decision to make. I should have just tried it. It's like, 7 some items that you can check, and one of them's probably.
Yeah, it, but it did seem to work out for you in the end. We were quite worried that we were actually curious about that. Do you know your ice pals?
Yes, so it was very weird to find the Cane of Samaria there because, like, if you were doing the dungeon normally, you shouldn't have been able to reach that, I don't think, but there might have been a way to get around the dungeon. I just couldn't remember.
So, with the small key in the first chest and the big key in iced tea and the Samaria on the hookshot lock side, that Samaria was actually hookshot locked.
Yeah, that sounds about right then. Yeah, so with the bomb jump, and amazingly, I got it in one try. Like, I do not normally get that bomb jump. That's one of the more annoying ones in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would
No,
infinitely
that's not
prefer the
fun.
normal Ice Palace bomb jump over that jump any day.
So, Udai,
Yes.
do you know these? I saw you kind of going for it, so I think you do. You know the spin setup for getting to the edge of a ledge, right?
The edge of yeah. So I'm not too mechanically good at those things, but I do try to do that so that I can walk to the closest pixel off the ledge. It's just when I'm bootsless for that long, just everything feels weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would honestly say practice that, because that'll make it infinitely easier.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, if you have the lineup, I also a little bit of weirdness with using the Luigi sprite. He has like a slightly taller pixel for his hat than Link, so I was also kind of a little bit off from that. Although I do always play as Luigi when I play Rando.
But, yeah, if you get to that bottom pixel, though, you can just face left and place a bomb along that right side of the block, and you'll be good to go.
Definitely something I'm going to look forward to getting better at. I amazingly ended up making the brackets. I was actually worried that this series against MsMetroid would be like the revenge of the RNG, and I guess we both got hecked by it. To be honest, it was every single seed that we've drawn in the 4 races we've done have just been nasty.
Yeah, and
I
unfortunately,
mean, maybe you're a bad seed roller like I am.
um, on bad RNG, also Miss Metroid apparently got the worst today, as she had quite a struggle in her attempt to take down Moldrom 1. She tried only with Fighter Sword, and yeah, that was an odyssey.
I mean, that's like, another element of this seed too, as well, is that a whole lot of this seed was low percent, bootsless. I mean, yeah, we had flute pretty early, but you just had to do everything in the most painful and annoying way. And so, even, somebody 5 times better than me would probably have struggled with this seed, at least for a fair amount of, the more annoying slow execution. Tower of Hera was probably, because we had the same problem last race where we had like no weapons. So we had to climb basically by throwing things, and I got a little better at it this time since we did last time, but that alone, I was very worried about my time lost there.
Oh, you made it to the bracket stage. I didn't realize that this was the, win or go home.
Well, so I'm not sure if any other groups have finished. This is now going to finish up Group U. This was the tiebreak round. Ovidius Naso beat me in the winners finals. So Ovidius Naso and I are going to be advancing Xylo Price and MsMetroid. we carry their hopes on our backs, I suppose. Um, and yeah, this is going to
Oh,
be interesting to see. Ovidius was a really strong contender. I think he stands a good chance of winning the whole thing.
yeah. I'm a bit. Okay. It's Metroid. What are you?
Did she flood the key?
No, she went and did the setup for doing left side and then just left without doing left side. We're hitting the switch.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean, I don't blame her in the slightest. This race has just felt like the most awful thing to run. Um, I can't even imagine what's going on in her mind right now. Like, this is such a frustrating seed to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually very grateful there's stream delay so that I had a few minutes to, like, step away, collect myself.
Man, I am glad I was in the commentary booth and not playing this one. There's. So now she just has to go kill Trinex.
Yeah, thankfully she won't have to deal with Argus. Argus Master Sword doesn't feel very good. Oh, she has Tempered, doesn't she?
She has to. Yeah, because she got it out of the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, no zero cycle attempts. So you don't get to see that today. That's unfortunate.
So, can you explain to me how Zero Cycle even works?
Yeah, so you have your sword held out and fully charged. You do a hook dash while you have your sword outstretched, and then you just need to hit hook shots with good timing and position yourself to not collide with Argus. As long as you have good timing and good positioning, you can get literally all of them before the first spin cycle. You do not have to
Here's
do
the
consecutive
thing.
hook dashes, though. It just has to be one hook dash perfectly and then regular hook shots.
So, then why is it I've done that, but it only kills the first one?
You might be letting go of the sword. You definitely have to keep the sword held the entire time, which is part of what makes it so difficult. Is it's a 3-button input at the first, puff, and then you need to have that held while you press again. So it's a really awkward fight. By far the hardest boss kill fast strat in the game, in my opinion. I think a lot of people will usually agree on that one. Takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Can
I
confirm
certainly don't
Hmm.
that.
think I'm going to pull that off in brackets, but I'll definitely try it if I have the ability to.
I mean, I look forward to restreaming some more of these. Amrit's got this one. I've been helping out a bit as well with restreaming some of these matches. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have an opportunity to be on Restream. I'm sure MsMetroid feels the same way, and we'll hear from her in a little bit. Definitely want to thank both of you for commentating, Math Girl and Real and Tank here, and of course Amrith for doing the Restream and Go Mode podcast for hosting it. Pretty nice to be on this channel. It's just something different. Um, but yeah, also great to see that there's coverage for both of these tournaments going on that are the primary ones. Just nice to see how much community engagement there is. So really appreciate all of you for tuning in and watching this race, and a big GG's and thanks to MsMetroid for participating in it with me.
Yeah, and thank you for racing both of you, because it's, especially when you get seeds like this where it just, I don't know how comfortable I'd feel being restreamed with a race like this.
Well, I also want a big shout outs to our tracker today, Slowpoke, because I do not run a tracker, so they had to figure this out on their own. I'm just watching, so sorry for keeping you on your heels. With that, though, I don't want to distract from the rest of MsMetroid's race. I'm going to bow out of the interview here, but thanks again, and GG's.
Thank you, Yudai, and have a great night, and good luck in the rest of your matches.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
MsMetroid. has made it back to through Turtle Rock, is on the way to Laser Bridge, or at least on the way to Trinix, as Laser Bridge has already been done. So we can head now to the left before entering Laser Bridge. Yeah, focus seems a little bit slipping. But at 2 hours and 40 minutes into the run, that's fully understandable.
Oh yeah. But she's gonna be done very soon. She has to get to Trinix, kill them, and go finish off Ganon's tower.
And now MsMetroid, having finished with Trinix, has now found, or has now collected crystal number 7 and can finally head over to Ganon's tower to search for that big key, start the climb, and eventually finish this seed.
Alright, so maybe she'll just decide to go left. Hopefully.
Looks like starting out right.
Most people do. Yep, she's going left. So, traditional strats.
There is still the possibility to say, okay, mirroring out after a render room.
Most people don't do Hope Room first if they're gonna mirror out on the side. There's her better sword.
I'm just noticing we never managed to locate that ether medallion. To that one.
No, it didn't. It might be down in the ice armos or upstairs or in the big chest though.
I think
Or in the
Eudaimonistic
shovel
checked.
spot.
I think Eudaimonistic checked all chests upstairs. That's where we got the shovel out of. So really, there's just the ice armors, big chest, and maybe the shovel spot left. Although if it is the shovel spot, we could have seen that in the credits.
Alright, about to give her big key. And there it is.
Now onto the climb. Fully equipped with everything you would want to have. Getting a bit bullied by the anti-fairy here. Taking the trip to the safety room here. Can grab 2 fairies, which amount to 14 heart refill and a full magic. Now on to the gauntlet.
Gauntlet's never fun to do. I usually just bomb boost my way through.
Yeah, there are some strategies that you can learn to make things easier, but there is still quite a huge RNG component here, depending on where and how your enemies move. So if you're not comfortable with that,
Tonight.
Demo 2 taken down. No real problem with that silver arrows. Tactical map check to do a little bit of RNG manipulation. Oh, almost getting that West Rogue 2 room in one go. Taking the herb, taking the full magic refill, making sure you do not get that tower despawn. And now the refight with Moldorm for MsMetroid. The first one was a struggle.
Second one doesn't appear to be starting off much better.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
And the nightmare returns.
MsMetroid, you have a key. Oh.
Ooh. But
Okay,
gets it.
she got. Saying no to the final chest.
I mean, you have everything. What could be in there that you would even want to grab at this point?
Bottle?
Yeah, not really.
Was that a triple?
I think that was just a double. I think one shot just went over, and that was a reflected blue ball, courtesy of that mirror shield. And missing that double here, unfortunately. Down goes Aga too. And on to that final boss fight of this game. So with Gold Sword, this fight is even easier than the one Eudaimonistic showed us, as we only need 6 slashes for phase 1 and 6 slashes for phase 2. And then 4 more slashes for phase 3. Those will always be 4. And finally hitting 4 silver arrows into a stun cannon. Good setup here. Looking for maybe a triple. Not getting it, just a double. Oh, unfortunate timing with the torch. Just going out. But there's the last silver arrow.
GG's. Hello, MsMetroid. GG's.
GG.
Thank you. Hello.
I promise the next seed will be better. Why don't I believe you, game? So interesting.
Oh, it was fine. I just wasn't patient, and I didn't realize until right as I was about to turn in Green Pendant that I could actually do Aga. So that was a pretty pretty
that's
funny
why you
time
were
for
so
me.
intent on that. That makes sense.
I kind of forgot that I had Lamp for a little while, so I was like, well, I've got Flute. And of course I did Flute, do the old man with the lamp, and then went up to Hera. But yeah, it was
Which
By the
also
time-
was Firelock, by the way.
yeah. But by the time that I actually realized after picking up Pearl from Spec Rock, I was like, hey, I can just do Hera real quick and then I can turn in Green Pendant. And then after that, I was like, oh man, this has been an Agassi the whole time.
Yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately for you, that real quick didn't really work out as planned in Tower of Hera.
No, not at all. And I just wasn't being very patient this whole time. So I didn't didn't do very well, to say the least. So it was a good time. It was good practice, I suppose. And I did hear the comment, Math Girl, about Moldorm 2 and that I had a cape and everything. But I used cape before, and having the sword buffers and bounces whenever you run into him just messed me up. So I wasn't worried about it.
That makes sense. Yeah, if you just slash his tail though, you won't get knocked in.
In general, I'm not really, or personally not really a fan of preloading or doing fighter sword spins, especially as they do not, or as they do not save you a cycle on Moradom anyway, over
That's true.
slashes. And if you hold your sword out, you're actually moving slower than when you're just walking around normally, so you cannot dodge Mordom as good or as easily.
I just get used to having the sword to kind of buffer when he runs into you and stuff, so you can not fall off the edge as easily. But that's just my bad strats.
I do that sometimes too, though. It's not
Shout
the
outs
worst.
to that Eudaimonistic dude that's in chat who was also cool and my friend. And this seed was mean, but GG's to him and good luck with the rest of the tournament. So
Oh, stuff. Unfortunately, this is the end of this tournament for you, MsMetroid.
thank God.
Okay then.
No, it was fine. I mean, I surprised myself by even deciding last minute to enter it, but it was just for the lulz, and it was fun. Did 4 races against Eudaimonistic, and that was pretty much my entire tournament experience. So it was a good time.
Hey, we were happy to have you.
Definitely.
Maybe next time I'll get to race against somebody else that I could actually have a chance at beating. So we'll see.
I mean, so you missed this, but he actually missed out on the hook shot for quite a while.
I don't even remember where it was. So
Back of Escape.
oh right,
Yeah,
okay.
I think you had it about an entire hour long earlier than
Wow.
Eudaimonistic, so yeah.
Dang, if I didn't mess up with Hera and do a bunch of double dips, probably would have been all right.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for you was probably just last locating those flippers in Graveyard Edge, which Eudaimonistic got comparatively earlier.
Yeah, I kept thinking about it, and I was like, well, it's one check. It's one check. I don't have Titan's Mints yet, so I don't want to go all the way up there and have to go back for King's Tomb. Don't have boots. Can't do anything else up there. So it just seems like not the smartest play in my mind, but obviously it was the right play, so it was the smartest.
Hey, it was a pleasure to watch, though.
Well, thanks for the restream and commentary and tracking and everything. I know a couple of you have already done some commentary earlier today on the main tournament, so thanks again, and Slowpoke for tracking again. So
Well, I think if that's everything, I think we'll wrap things up.
yeah, it's great. I'm not sure if you guys have to leave it to get to my item count or whatever. I don't know how this works with you guys, but I'm done on my end, so I'm gonna go eat some food.
Have a great night, MsMetroid.
Thanks.
Alright, so with that, I've been MathGirl718, and Raylan, I'll leave you with the last words. Have a great night, everyone.
And it was a pleasure to being allowed to commentate this race and having you helping me there out, Mathball. Also from me, again, big shout out to our tracker Slowpoke 316. Also, if you were watching here, check out the Gomos podcast that was hosting this tournament race or this Challenge Cup race here. Yeah. Have a great night, everybody, and hope to see you next time around.